Alright, so this is going to be a guide setting up 3 mods for Guild Wars 2. It's going to be split into 2 different videos. So the first video, this video, is going to be explaining how to set everything up for Guild Wars 2. And then the second video is going to be the keybinds and what you're going to be doing with the mods and how you use them in Guild Wars 2. So, to get started, you're going to be downloading Serial Special. It's a zip file that I put together. It should have everything inside it. It's not going to have the text or the README files that I'm going to be putting in it now, because obviously I'm making the video, so I'm going to be putting README files that have exactly what my keybinds are for Guild Wars 2 and what they are for Xpadder, if you guys are familiar with that program. So, obviously you're getting these 3 folders, which are Xpadder, ZoomUnlocker, and Combat Mode. So we're going to start with Xpadder. And I'm not going to go in an in-depth explanation on how to use Xpadder. I'm going to go with the assumption that you know how to use it, or you know how to use Google or YouTube to learn how to use it. So you're going to start up Xpadder, and it's going to say welcome and ask you a few things like where you want the location to be. I choose my documents, and then I choose associate, and then it's going to bring up Xpadder itself. Since I conveniently put the Guild Wars 2 controller layout and config profile, all you got to do is load these 2 in, and you should get exactly what you'll see here. So to load in the first one, you hit the little controller on the left side, open, select the controller, and then it sets that up. Now, before I go any further, in order for you to get this to work, you need to have an Xbox controller or PlayStation 3 controller hooked up. It could be some sort of a, I guess you could say, a controller you get from like a third party, but it has to basically have all the keys that a PlayStation or Xbox 360 controller have, all the button setups. So right now I'm using a 360 controller. It cannot be wireless. It has to be plugged in. You can use, however, a plug and play charge kit. As long as you have it constantly connected to the controller, you can plug that into a USB port in your computer and it should work flawlessly. So we're going to load the profile now and go to open. After, of course, you click this little notepad looking thing, and then you hit all, Guild Wars 2 config profile, and now you have the same exact setup I have for my Guild Wars 2. Now, just to give you guys a heads up, my keybinds in Guild Wars 2 may be different from yours. So even though certain keys do specific things, for example, this one is my weapon swap key. It's actually tab. That's what I set it up as in Guild Wars 2, because it's more easier for me than hitting the little line. So basically you could just click it and you select it with this keyboard inside Xpadder, and you can customize just about any of these keys to whatever you want. But I won't get too far into detail when it comes to Xpadder, because again, you guys can look that up. So anyways, once you get that running, you'll have it running in the background. You can even close the window and it will be put in your taskbar like it is down here. In order for you to actually close it, you need to right click it and then hit close. So we're going to go down to combat mode. Combat mode will include 5 files that look just like this. So you want to take all of those. You can copy, cut, whatever. I'm going to copy. You go over to where your Guild Wars 2 is located. It's usually in the C drive, and then you go down to Program Files and Guild Wars 2, and you will paste them here. Now, if you're running on 32-bit, it would be under Program Files. If you're running on 64-bit, it will be Program Files x86. So you basically paste them in there, and now this new ICM application file will be your new startup for Guild Wars 2. You can still start it normally through the application that Guild Wars 2 provides you with. but that will start it without the combat mod or combat mode. So I made a quick link here, so I'm going to start that up. And once we get Guild Wars started, we'll start on the ZoomUnlocker. It's actually really easy to start all of this together. It's really not difficult. It's just I feel like some people might have some trouble or get confused in the process. And so I don't want them to think that they're going to destroy or ruin their files in Guild Wars 2, which you, again, if anything happens, God forbid, you can always re-download the game, which would be a headache and a half, but still. Now, just to throw this in there, ArenaNet's stance on the whole modification and modding scene, I guess you could call it, they're not for it, they're not against it. They're against mods that give players an upper hand. But they're not necessarily against mods that are editing like textures or your HUD or anything like that that only affect you in a very non-profitable way. So it's just making it so, like, if I wanted to, I don't have the program with me now, but I know there's other programs out there that work with other games that you can edit the textures. And so I can change, instead of it being green on my warrior, I can make it so it's purple and stupid stuff like that. So it's not affecting anyone other than me. And that's what Guild Wars 2 stands for heavily. Now, don't quote me on all of this because I could be completely wrong. I think I just messed up the window. But I'm pretty sure they're fine with this. There have been plenty of people that ask, you know, hey, well, for Guild Wars 2, can I get banned? Can they ban my account and such? And they're always going to leave the room open for them to ban your account for whatever they want. That's just going to be like that for just about any game, really. They want the terms of service to protect them and not really protect the consumer, I guess, unless it's, you know, they're trying to profit you in some sort of a way. But basically this prevents people from modifying their accounts and then having it break and then going to ArenaNet saying you owe me money because I decided to modify the game. So anyways, going back to ZoomUnlocker, once you get the game running, about characters select screen, you want to start up ZoomUnlocker. Now I have Komodo. Komodo basically says, no, this program is doing this. Here, you choose what you want it to do. And I'm just going to accept everything because it's not actually messing with these files. It's just looking for Guild Wars 2. It's looking for the running process. Now, you can skip through all of them, but I think last run through I was trying to make of this video, I skipped the icm.exe. And that's what screwed it up, because that's what's running Guild Wars 2 right now. So I hit OK over that one, and then I'll hit OK over Guild Wars 2.exe, and it should bring up a menu. I'll cancel all of these. It brings up a menu saying, do I want to unlock the first person view or unlock zoom? You can check both of them. Check both of them, minimize the window. I can close this, and now I can go into Guild Wars 2. Now here I will be showcasing the zoom in and zoom out mod, I guess you could call it. But other than that, the other video will be covering my key bindings for Xpadder and how I have it set up and how you can really make it work for your playstyle. So right here you can see that combat mode is activated. I'm missing the experience bar down at the bottom. I'm missing the party UI over on the left-hand side, and then on the upper left-hand side, I'm missing the icons up at the top. I can toggle that so you can see what it's pulling out. Just so you know, when you are in a party, that doesn't affect party members. So if I had a party member with me right now, I would actually see him. All it's doing is getting rid of this little face that's right there. So, the zooming in and out. This is me zooming in to first person. As you can see, it zooms into my chest. And it's not affecting my character's stance, but it's just zooming in first person. So it makes combat a little bit different. It doesn't show the weapons. It does this weird glitch where it won't show the weapon if you're zoomed in when you enter combat. But if I put my weapons away and then I pull them out, it shows them. Now if I zoom in while they're out, it will show them first person. I don't know why this bug happens, and I don't know if there is really a fix for it. I would like to hope that there is, because I do like having my weapons show. Now, not all weapons work like this, like the sword and shield do. This is just what my warrior normally has, so I'm pretty grateful that it works so well in first person. Also, character models have different locations where the camera zoom into. For example, my Asura has it zooming into the head because he's such a small character model. So, now that we got that out of the way, you can zoom out pretty far. In fact, almost to the point where you see a very large portion of the map. But this doesn't necessarily give you an upper hand because, as you can see, I still see the monsters that are within my character's range. So if I pull my mouse out, I don't see any monsters that are up here or over here because I'm not within that range. But if I move over in this direction, NPCs, as you can see, are starting to appear on my screen like they would normally. So all it's really good for, in my opinion, is taking screenshots. And so you just get rid of the HUD or do whatever you want to do with it and just take some really nice screenshots, maybe post them online. But that should cover everything for the ZoomUnlocker. That's all it's really affecting, and again, you would have to check those two boxes. If you don't want it to go all the way out but you want first person, then just check the first person box and just use it like that. So that basically covers that, and I will be uploading the next video as well. So just look for that through my videos, or I'll link it in the description. I'll most likely link it in the description. So look inside the description. The link to my other video will be there, and that should cover all the keybinds and what you should be doing.